All right, and we are rolling. Heidi, good? Good. Amazing. Okay, guys, we did it. We're getting better. We're getting better. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Saturday workout. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Welcome, everybody. Let's get started. Happy Saturday. So, if you are new to the workout, I'm so glad to have you here. Please make sure that you share a comment so that I am aware that you are with us today. We've got a great workout. I'm super excited, so let's roll. Hello and welcome to the workout. I'm super excited. I'm coming to you from sunny Los Angeles, one of my favorite places in the entire world. I've got a glutes, chest, and tricep workout for you today. Now remember, this is a strength workout. You want to have a set of dumbbells nearby. We're going to be exclusively working with dumbbells today. And we're going to be working in supersets, 2 exercises put back to back together with no rest in between, and then we'll take a short rest. We've got 5 supersets, and we're going to do 2 sets each. If you want a harder workout, please move faster, take shorter rest periods, and you're going to do a 3rd superset. If you want an easier workout, consider doing body weight only. Take your time, take rest periods whenever you need to, and you're going to stay with me, and we're just going to do 2 supersets per collection of exercises. So let's get this party started. Let me get my notes. Okay, let's get it started. We're going to go through a series of preparatory moves just to get you warmed up and ready. Take a big inhale up, exhale it out, and let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale up, stretch way up to the sky. Exhale it out 1 more time. Big inhale up. Exhale it out. Okay, left hand up over your head, and I want you to reach up for the sky, and then I want you to take a slight lean over to the side, drawing in on your abdomen, contracting your abdominal muscles, lifting yourself long from fingertip all the way down to your hip, lengthening out. And now take a slight turn over to your left as if you're looking under your underarm. It's great to open up the sides of the body and down into the hip flexor a little bit. Relax it down. Same thing on your right arm, coming up. Lengthen, slight lean. Doesn't that feel amazing? Hold for that lean and lengthen. Take a slight turn under your arm, looking and really opening it out. So good. And exhale. Take your arms up over your head, and I want you to interlock your fingers. Bring them back behind your head. Contract your elbows back. Chest is lifted. Shoulders are down. Just to open up the chest a little bit, just to provide a little bit of range of motion for us here. And just stretching and holding and relax. Let's come into our spinal rotation. So your job here is to really squeeze and activate your glute on the leg that is behind you. Squeeze that glute so that you've got a strong base to rotate around. Let your arms just naturally come around, allowing that flexibility to come down into the bottom of your spine, releasing any stickiness, and just opening up the mobility of your spine, getting your core warmed up. It's a good one. And let's do 1 more. And relax, feet nice and wide. Take a look down and make sure that your toes are pointed forward. I want you to bend your knees, stick your hips back, draw your abdomen in, and we're going to come side to side, just sitting deeply onto the leg, warming up and preparing your leg, heavy on your heels. Really press your hips back. Hips go way back. Pressing off that heel, keeping your toes relaxed. And then as that feels a little bit warmed up, as it starts to kind of get into the groove, I want you to sit deeper, reaching across the floor to really activate the glutes and the quads. But you're also getting a really incredible dynamic stretch and lengthening through your inner thigh. Hips back, super strong. Preparing the bod, getting you ready for our workout today. And let's do 2 more. Oh, so good. And let's come into our reverse reach lunge. I want you to take a big reach up to really lengthen your spine. Take a step back into a modified lunge, big reach, big lunge, and continue, big reach, big lunge. And as you get adjusted to this and your balance settles in, you'll then make the move just a bit bigger by dropping all the way down to the ground. To the ground, big reach. You can move faster or slower here based on what works for your body. It's a really good idea if you're coming into the full runner's lunge at the bottom to let your back knee drop to the ground. Let that back knee drop, deepening the flex through the arch of the back foot, driving into your front heels as you step forward. Opening up the hip flexors and really reach up super high. Don't just throw your hands up. Really reach up for the sky to lengthen your torso. This activates that transverse abdominis and just get your core prepared while we're getting those legs ready for a glute workout. Okay, one more, and relax. Perfect, let's do our balance exercise, feet together. Bend your knees to lower your center of gravity. Bring your weight over onto one leg. Take a moment to just settle in, finding your balance. Then I want you to look around your space. Start by looking left and right. Keep the knee bent of the leg that you're standing on. I want you to look around. As you get good at that, let's turn that into looking up, down, all around, really moving your eyes and your head in a variety of directions to intentionally throw your balance off. We want you to throw your balance off because that is what's going to prepare and strengthen the balance on that standing leg. Relax, and let's do the same on the other leg. Start with your feet together, lower your center of gravity first, bend into the knee, and look around. Now you'll notice that as you lose your balance, the foot really grips and grabs, and that is part of the value of this exercise, is for the arch and the muscles of the arch to really activate. That works best if you keep the standing leg slightly bent, because part of balance and good mechanics of the leg is having hearty and strong activated arches in the feet alongside a bent knee. So make sure you're looking all around. As you lose your balance, you just tap down and catch yourself. But ideally, you'll stay on one leg the whole time to really get that muscle prepared, warmed up, firing, activated. It's one of the best exercises that you really should be doing every single day because it's so good for functional leg strength. Let's get into the workout, guys. All right, I'm going to show you our first two exercises so that if you want to move a little bit faster, you can. We're going to be starting on the ground. Grab yourself a heavier dumbbell. You are going to want several dumbbells nearby. Today's workout is exclusively dumbbell-based. First two exercises. If you have a set of ankle weights nearby, that can be very helpful for our second exercise. First exercise is our glute bridge. So you're going to put your heels a little bit wider than your hips, tuck your pelvis under slightly. Dumbbell or any kind of resistance is going to be on the top of your hips. We're pressing up, pausing at the top, relax down. Your weight should be heavy enough that you're able to do 12 repetitions and it's challenging. Second exercise, we're going to flip over and we're coming into a hip extension, crossing over from side to side. Your job is to lift your leg as high as possible here without changing the angle at your lower back, crossing over from side to side. Just going from left to right, up and over 12 times. If you've got an ankle weight, it makes this exercise extra effective. Okay, let's begin. You are on your back. Grab yourself a heavier dumbbell right by your side, heels are about the distance of your fingertips, about as wide as your shoulders. Dumbbell on those hips, tuck your pelvis under, and here we go. Driving up. Give me a bit of a pause at the top. Drive into the heels, let your pelvis tuck under. Remember, today's workout is strength-based, so you might be moving a little bit slower, and I want you really challenging yourself with your weight loads. This isn't just a high-intensity cardio workout, it's just not a random boot camp workout. The goal here really is to be working hard during the set. And in order to make that happen, it's really important that your workloads, in this case the dumbbell, are challenging, especially for the last 2 repetitions of the total 12. Please count your repetitions because I might be off. Let's do one more, and then we're going to immediately go to hip extension with crossover. You can come onto your hands and knees. You can also come down onto your elbows here if this is more comfortable for you. And as I said, if you've got ankle weights nearby and want to use them, please do. Extend your leg back, lift it up so that you get that hip extension, and from here, we're crossing up and over. Really squeezing your glutes at the top, right there. Really lift that leg as high as you can without changing the angle at your lower back. So we don't really want your pelvis moving. Your pelvis is locked off, but your glutes are really activating, lifting up and over. Really super high. This is a lot of glute focus here. It's effective with no weight on your ankle. And if you've got 2 or 3 pound ankle weights nearby, even better. 12 repetitions over and back. So 12 cycles, think of it. Tapping 12 times on each side, left to right, left to right, left to right, 12 times. And we got one more. Same thing on the other leg. Set yourself up in a comfortable position first. Extend the leg. Hip extension to really get that glute firing. And then we go from there. 12 taps on each side. Lifting that leg as high as possible. You're going to notice one leg is different. Oh my gosh, this is my different leg. And you're going to notice that on one side it works really well, and on one side it's kind of harder, or maybe it's a little bit more awkward. Really normal, especially for women. Our pelvis is often imbalanced, and that causes an imbalance in the ability and the strength of the glutes. So just know it's kind of normal. If one leg, can you stay off camera, please? Thank you, though. Just know that one glute is probably imbalanced as compared to the other. And one more. And relax. Okay, we're going to take a short rest. While you're resting, just sit back. And I'm going to have you just sit onto your feet. Let me turn this way. You guys might be able to see me a little bit better. There we go. Sit back onto your feet with your toes pointed. So a lot of times in this workout, we practice sitting on our feet with our toes tucked. And today, we're just going to sit with our toes pointed for a moment. During your rest phase, you can move about, you can stretch, you can do whatever you want. We're just taking a short little break. Then tuck your toes, and I want you to sit back onto the toes, and let's rock back and forth to give the feet a bit of mobility, a bit of flexibility here, bringing some pressure onto the toes. Such a great move to keep your feet and toes mobile. Happy. Such a good one. And let's go in for set 2. So you are on your back. If that first set was doable, please grab a heavier dumbbell, grab a second dumbbell, whatever you need. I'm actually going to grab a second dumbbell. And we're going in for that second set. Heels are about as far as your fingertips. Move them away slightly. Open your toes. Heels are about the width of your shoulders. And you've got 1 or 2 dumbbells. You can crisscross them, place them on your pelvis, tuck your pelvis under, and here we go. Pausing at the top and relax down. Big pause, really activate those glutes. If reps 11 and 12 are not challenging for you, I want you to go a little bit heavier. Remember, the goal here is to really be challenged on the last 2 repetitions. And that's dependent on your weight load. A lot of people overlook that. It seems like such a logical thing to be aware of, but the truth is, a lot of people overlook the concept of if the set isn't challenging, that's a function of getting a heavier weight load. Seems so simple, but you'd be amazed how many people say to me, my last 2 reps aren't challenging, I don't understand. Well, you need heavier dumbbells. That's how you get stronger. 1 more here. And relax. And let's come to that hip extension. Crossover. Strap on your ankle weight if you have it. Hands are under the shoulders. Coming to an all-fours position. Extend 1 leg back, abdomen drawn in, hip lifted into that hip extension. And here we go. Up and over, really lifting super high. Keeping the angle at your lower back, but lifting that leg as high as you can so that we can get into the glutes. Tapping side to side, 12 on each side, for a total of 12 cycles. Abs drawn in. Keep that lower back strong. Oh, we got the sun coming up, you guys. It is so beautiful here. And 1 more. Relax. Same thing on the other side. Make sure your hands are right under your shoulders and you're staying active in this position. Okay? Extend the leg. Lift the leg to really squeeze through your glutes. And here we go. Crossing up and over, tapping out to the left and right. Always returning to that leg super high, all the way up. Tapping side to side, abs drawn in, really bracing and locking off through your abs helps to keep that lower back at a consistent angle. We don't want that lower back angle to change too much. Okay? Big lift. Squeeze through that glute. Both glutes are actually getting a bit of activity in this exercise. 1 leg is stabilizing you while the other is actually moving. And there's a value in both positions. 1 more here. And relax. Tuck your toes under, and I want you to come back to that crouched position. And let's just rock back and forth, bringing a little bit of mobility to the feet. If you've been practicing this with me over the past few weeks and months, you should start to notice that your feet and toes feel better. More mobility, they feel more comfortable in your shoes, going up and down stairs when you're barefoot, walking. Foot health is so incredibly important, and it gets overlooked, right? But think so often, we know so many older people who really complain about their feet, and not having happy feet really lends towards more challenge as you get older. And, okay, let's come to a standing position. As soon as you stand up, slowly, I want you to lift your knees 10 times, please. And you're going to get your dumbbells nearby. Let me show you our next 2 exercises. Give me a second here. I want to move my mat so that you guys can see me a little bit better. Hoping that will put me a little bit more into the sunshine. It does. Okay, great. So next 2 exercises, grab yourself a heavier dumbbell. Or double up with the dumbbells that you have, depending on the weight load that you have. Toes are turned open. Take a look. Knees are also turned open. Super, super important. We want your knees opening back behind you. Dumbbells are going to hang down below you, and we are dropping down for our plie squat. Now this is a super strong movement pattern biomechanically, so I really want you to be challenging yourself with your weight load. This is one of those exercises where you can legitimately perform it a bit heavier. Combined with overhead tricep extension here. So again, you're going to want kind of a challenging weight load. Today's workout is glutes and triceps. Here's our first tricep exercise, 12 repetitions of each. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Grab that dumbbell, turn your toes open. Sitting as deeply as your flexibility allows, squeeze your glutes at the top. Oh, that glute squeeze at the top, oh, so good. Turn your pelvis under, really tuck your pelvis, squeeze your glutes. Sitting as deeply as it feels right for you. The goal is not necessarily to touch the ground with your dumbbells. The goal is to come down to a depth where you really feel your glutes activate. You might get a little bit of a stretch through your inner thighs. Chest is nice and tall. 12 reps, and if the last 2 reps are comfy, it's time to grab a heavier weight load. One more here, going right into our tricep extension. Arms up overhead, elbows right nearby the sides of your face, and really extend overhead, 12 reps, and then we've got a short rest. Keep your knees slightly bent, abdomen drawn in, elbows right by the sides of your head, nice and long, extending up. And if you're limited by your home equipment and you don't have heavier options, please know you can do higher repetitions. So the name of the game is to have a heavy enough weight load where your 12 repetitions are challenging. That's your goal. But if you're limited by your equipment at home, that is an argument to go for more repetitions. So if you're maxing out the dumbbell weight that you have, but the exercise is still not hard, please do 15 or maybe even 20 repetitions, but that's only if you don't have a more challenging weight load. Short little break. We're going to do our second set with a short break in between. And remember, if you want a harder workout, you're going to do 3 supersets, moving a little bit faster with a little bit less rest in between. But you don't want to skip over that rest altogether, because that would be telling me you're not challenging yourself enough with the weight loads. Okay, let's go. Second set. Plie squat, toes turned open. The heaviest weight loads you've got available to you. Chest is super tall. Knees are pressing outward. So you really want to be opening up your knees here. This is not a typical squat. This is a plie squat. So your knees are really going out to your sides at an angle, not a 90-degree angle to your body, but you do want those knees opening outward and pressing back. So at the bottom of the move here, I want you to really focus on pressing your knees back in space. Back in space, right there. Drive into the heels, keeping your toes as relaxed as you can. Doesn't that feel great? Squeeze your glutes at the top, tucking the pelvis under. That's a really important articulation. Tuck the pelvis under. It's also so good for mobility and flexibility of the hips. One more, tricep extension, overhead with the heaviest weight load that's appropriate for your 12 reps here. Extend. So you really want to keep your elbows nearby the sides of your body. You don't want your elbows changing too much, okay? There's only just an incremental adjustment of the elbows. Otherwise, they pretty much stay right in place. Abs drawn in, keeping your natural, neutral arch in your lower back. Big extension, 12 reps, unless you're limited by your dumbbells, and then you can do more. One more, we're going to take a short break. And let me show you our next two exercises. Again, today we are all about glutes, chest, and triceps. Next exercise, glutes and chest. We're going to be doing a form of a push-up. Ideally, you will be doing an angled push-up from a countertop or from a chair. And if you want to go all the way down to the ground, I'll give you an option there as well. You do want a lighter dumbbell. We're going to start with our feet kind of wide, toes turned open, and you're going to sit down onto your heels. Now from here, we're shifting over and lifting the toe, and then we immediately go to the other side. So you're sitting side to side, lifting up onto the foot and sitting deeply into one side. It's important that your toes are turned open slightly here. Next exercise is a modified push-up. Now ideally, you would be on an angled surface. Let me adjust my camera because I want to make sure you guys can see me. You want to be on an angled surface here, so maybe a kitchen counter, a chair, and from here, we're doing our push-up down and up. If you don't have an angled surface, you can do it down on the ground, which I will also demonstrate. Let me show you real quick. So you're starting from the ground for your modified push-up. If you have a good push-up practice, you can do this however you want. But I really like a modified push-up where you lift off the ground, pushing away from the floor, and then come into your full lift, all the way down. Press away from the ground, full lift, and down. You've got your option in terms of which push-up you want to do. Let's start with that side squat first. Feet are pretty wide, toes are turned open, bend your knees, sitting onto the heels. We're coming into a side squat, switching sides. Really sit nice and deeply. Super, super deep there. Sitting deep, toe is up, and then just coming right over to the other side. So you're just swapping feet, and the elbows are coming down towards your knees. You want to sit deeply and stay low throughout the movement, heavy onto the heels. You are going to feel a bit of a stretch on the inner thighs. That's one of the reasons why we do that preparatory exercise in the beginning. Lifting that toe, sitting deep, press your hips back, chest is up, sit super deep. 12 in total. So 12 on each side, 12 reps in total on each side. Make sure you're counting because I might be off. Sit super deep, lifting through that toe, heavy onto the heel. It's a lot of glutes here. And one more. Coming into push-up. Pick your variation. Whether you want to be angled or whether you want to be down on the ground, whatever works for you. If you've got a surface so that you're able to come into an angled position, I do like that. Hands are a bit wider than your chest. Stepping back with your feet together. Make sure that your shoulders are now back and down. You're starting off in a really good plank to begin with. Elbows come out to the sides and down slightly towards the hips. Big push. You got 12 reps here. Drive into the palms of your hands. Keep your legs very active, and if you want to do it down on the ground as a modified push-up, that works too. Use your breath. Staying on the balls of the feet, 12 reps. One more. And relax. Short little break. And then we're going to do these two exercises again. On the second set, I will do the modified floor push-up with you. Push-ups are tricky. You really want to make sure that you've got awesome technique on your push-ups in general. I'm not a huge fan of push-ups, but when we do workouts like this from the home that don't use a lot of equipment, we have to get creative with our chest exercises. I really love an angled push-up, and you can do it from a variety of different angles. And then you would graduate on to my modified push-up before doing a full and proper military push-up. Okay, second set. If that first set of side squats was easy, grab yourself a heavier weight load. Take a moment to really set up your positioning here so that your feet feel equal and balanced, heavy onto your heels, and dumbbell at your chest. Here we go. Sitting down and then just immediately swapping sides. So you do want to make sure that you're pressing your hips back as you sit down. Sit down deeply. It's in essence a single leg squat is what the move is. So you really want to be thinking about putting your energy into your left leg, your right leg, left leg, keeping the focus of your body weight on your heels. Keep your body weight on your heels. Press those hips back. Keep a little bit of a natural neutral curvature in your lower back. Push those hips back. Really push your hips back. Super important. 12 in total. Oh, feels so good. It's a great stretch for the inner thighs. It's just a great movement pattern for the hip structure in general. 2 more. And relax. Let's go for push-ups. Pick your positioning. Second set, I will do them as a modified version from the ground. Coming and starting down on your belly, knees bent, heels to your butt, thumbs are outside your chest. You're gonna push away from the floor, then you're gonna lift off. 12 reps. Push, then lift. Push, then lift. What this does is this helps to keep your shoulders safe. It's also a great way to really put more focus and load onto the chest because you're not really having to lift all the weight of the lower body. If you do this right, I argue it's as effective as a full-length military push-up. And in some ways, it's more concentrated because it's a lot on the chest and the arms. If you want your upper body and your arms to look great, this is a good exercise because it really does put that focus onto the chest and the arms. So let's do while we stand up. Let's do foot mobility here. Bringing that range of motion. If this is uncomfortable to your toes, you can actually just sit here. Use your hands to sort of adjust your position until your feet are able to tolerate it, and then we're going to stand up, lift your knees immediately, and walk it out. And let me show you next 2 exercises. We got 2 more supersets of 2 exercises each. We got 4 more exercises. Next one of my favorites, we got a reverse lunge with the knee lift. I'll show you in a moment. And then we've got a double dumbbell, single leg deadlift. So you are going to want a single dumbbell and a double dumbbell here. First, actually, let me show you this next one without weight load, and then it's comfortable. You can add your dumbbells to it. But first exercise is a reverse lunge with a knee lift. You've got a couple of options here. I'm going to stay here. Feet together, knees bent. And what you're going to be doing is stepping back and on that same leg coming to a knee lift. Now, if that's too challenging for your balance, you'll lunge, tap, lift, tap. Eventually, I want you to just come straight to a knee lift, swinging back into your reverse lunge. We'll do 12 on this leg, 12 on the other leg. You can do it body weight only as I just demonstrated, or using dumbbells at your sides, at your shoulders, or at your chest, depending on what really works for you. Then you'll need 2 dumbbells. You can start light if you're new for our single leg deadlift. Feet together, 2 dumbbells, knees bent. We're coming forward. Dumbbells come forward in front of the body. Come up and tap, squeeze the glute. Make sure that your standing leg stays bent. Are you guys ready? Let's start with that reverse lunge into a knee lift. You can do it body weight only, or you can hold some dumbbells. Holding your dumbbells either at your sides or at your shoulders, whichever just feels more productive for you today. Knees bent, here we go. Stepping back into your lunge, knee lift. If you need to tap down for balance at any point, totally cool. Over time, the goal is to be able to do this without having to tap down. Body weight is really focused over the heel on that front leg, okay? Keep all your body weight on that front heel, and you can eliminate the knee lift in the front if you would like. If this is too challenging for you, for whatever reason, just eliminate that knee lift. 12 reps, and then we're gonna do the same on the other side. Either with or without dumbbells, body weight only. You can use something to stabilize you if you prefer. Knees bent, here we go. Big lunge, knee lift. Finding your balance, finding your groove, really squeezing your glute at the top here of the leg that's standing. So really focus on tucking your pelvis under. Even though the knee is coming up, you want to really focus on the glute here. Squeeze your glute. We're focusing on the front leg. So the leg that you're standing on is our active leg. The knee lift here is really to challenge your hip structure and to just put a bit more demand onto the glute of the leg that you're standing on. And relax. Second exercise, single leg deadlift. You got 2 leg exercises back to back. Feet together, knees bent, 2 dumbbells, come together in front, and then come up and tap, squeeze that glute. Here we go. 12 reps, and then we'll do the same on the other leg. Really drive into your front heel, keeping the front knee slightly bent. One of the best glute exercises everyone should be doing. So important, such a good exercise. Just make sure you're keeping that standing knee slightly bent. 12 reps, same thing on the other leg. Find your balance, set yourself up well. You will notice one leg is more stable than the other. Very normal. The goal over time is to learn how to do it so that both sides are pretty symmetric. And that can take time, but you'll get better at it over time. Remember, if something feels hard today, or if it feels like your body doesn't know how to do it, or it feels awkward, or you're struggling with your balance, the thing to remember is it kind of doesn't matter where you are right now. You're always able to become stronger and to get better at these moves. I can't tell you how many times I get messages from people, clients, women in my community, who say, you know, I just can't do that exercise, that single leg deadlift. And it's as if they think that because they can't do it now, they can't do it. And the truth is, just because you can't do it now doesn't mean you can't teach your body to do it. There was a time when I was in my 20s, I thought this exercise was ridiculous. I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do that exercise keeping my balance, right? I mean, I literally thought that it was impossible to do. But the truth is, it's just a function of exposing your body to the movement patterns, getting stronger, opening up your mobility, sticking with it, and over time, you'll notice your ability improves. Second set, reverse lunge knee lift, body weight or dumbbells. Give yourself a bit of a challenge. You can hold your dumbbells at your hips, at your shoulders, and you can also hold one dumbbell at your collarbone. Feet together, bend those knees, stepping back, going into that knee lift. Ah, such a good exercise. You know, if you've been here with me before, you know I am a huge fan of all things lunges. They are just so good for your legs, your hips, your mobility, your glutes, your balance. Such a good exercise all around. Also, a very challenging exercise. So this is one of those that if you're like, this is so hard, I can't do this, keep at it, practice, and over time, I promise you'll get better. One more, and we're going to go right into the other side. Feet together, knees bent, stepping back, lunge, knee lift. Squeeze into the glute, driving into your heel of the leg that's supporting you. Use your breath. Abs drawn in, posture is long and tall. Really focusing on that front leg. Feels extra good today. Hope it feels the same for you. And relax. Single leg deadlift. Second set. Remember, if you're really challenged by your balance, you can have something nearby to support you and to help you find your balance. Then, when you're ready, grab your dumbbells. 12 reps. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Really take that moment here to tuck your pelvis under and squeeze the glute of the leg that you're standing on. The moving leg really is insignificant here. This exercise is focused on and is about the leg that you're standing on. That's all you want to be thinking about. Over time, your balance will get better. I promise. Same thing on the other side. Keep that knee bent. Super important that you are having that knee bent, especially at the bottom. If the knee straightens at the top, then move here so that you're able to get in and activate your glute. That's totally fine. But then you want to make sure you unbend it so that at the bottom, it's critical that you've got a bend in your knee at the bottom of the exercise, because that is what helps to strengthen the hamstring in relationship to the other muscles. So even though this is a glute-focused exercise, you're still getting a value and a benefit in the hamstring, core, and back muscles. And short break. Good job, guys. Next two exercises, we're going down on the ground, and for one of them, you are going to want a slightly heavier dumbbell. We're going to be doing a chest press with a tricep exercise. So grab a heavier dumbbell. First exercise, let me demonstrate. You might want 2 different dumbbell weight loads on for these 2 exercises, because on your first exercise, your chest press, you're going to want a heavier dumbbell. Starting at the top of the move, pushing your shoulders to your hips, super, super important. Bringing your arms down until they touch the floor, but not releasing the tension. Give me a pause at the bottom before you push back up. Second exercise, palms face each other, shoulders push to your hips. That's really important. Push your shoulders towards your hips. Dumbbells come down past your ears, and then squeeze your triceps at the top here. Cool? Join me. So on this first exercise for your chest press, you might want a heavier dumbbell, 8, 10, 15 or more. Let's start at the top of the exercise here. Really conscientiously pushing your shoulders towards your hips. Shoulders really anchoring away from your ears. And let's begin. 12 reps, giving me a pause here, unless your dumbbells are really heavy. If your dumbbells are really, really heavy, you don't need to exaggerate that pause at the bottom. If your dumbbells are a little on the light side, you want more of a pause at the bottom. And so even though it looks like I'm putting my arms onto the ground, the back of my arms are definitely touching the ground, but I'm not releasing the pressure. I'm keeping the pressure in my chest, even though my arms are touching the ground behind me. If you have an exercise bench at home, please use it. This exercise is better on an exercise bench. One more. And we're immediately going to go into our tricep exercise. Palms facing each other. Bend only at your elbows. Squeeze your triceps. Really make sure that you're pressing your shoulders towards your hips. On this exercise, it's extra important. Really important to hit the triceps effectively by pushing your shoulders towards your hips. Really, 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 really important. Squeeze those triceps. You can pause at the top or at the bottom or both. On tricep exercises, you really can pause in either position. It's one of the more interesting things about how the triceps work is that there's a value of pausing here and pausing here. One more, and then we're going to take a short break. And go ahead and just put your dumbbells down to your sides, and let's flip over. We're going to actually work on our foot mobility again. Feet together, tuck your toes under, and I want you to come to a fully sitting position on your feet. Depending on how mobile you are, I would love for you to bring your knees down to the floor and then sit back and work on it. If this is too intense for your feet or for your toes, you're going to use your hands on your thighs or on the ground to sort of temper the pressure. So you use your upper body to just ease off the pressure. But if you're able to, keep those knees down, and I want you to fully sit back, really bringing a lot of flexion to the feet and to the toes. If it's uncomfortable, if it's painful, you want to kind of judge it by, if it's really uncomfortable, but you can breathe through it, please do so. If it's so excruciatingly painful that you can't stay in the position, that's when you want to bring your hands forward and really temper the pressure. But you want to kind of find the pressure where it's really uncomfortable, but you're able to hang out here. Like right now for me, this is borderline excruciating on my toe joints, but I know it's really good and productive, and so I've learned to work through the discomfort of it. But if you feel a lot of pain in this position, this is one of those exercises that it's actually important to work through it, not avoid it. Okay, let's go back for our second and final set. Grab those dumbbells. We've got your chest press. If that first set was comfortable, grab yourself a heavier set of dumbbells. Starting with the dumbbells up over you, press your shoulders towards your hips. And here we go, pausing at the bottom and big push. Pause and push. Keep your neck nice and long. And I want you to really think about pushing your shoulders towards your hips. Please keep a little bit of a natural, neutral curvature in your lower back. I do not want you pushing your lower back into the ground. If it kind of naturally falls there, that is okay. But the truth is we do want a little bit of a curvature in your lower back. Just a little. Don't exaggerate it, but you definitely want just like a little bit of natural curvature there. One more, and then we're going to go right into our tricep. Palms facing each other. Press your shoulders towards your hips. This is actually, I think this might be one of my top 2 favorite tricep exercises. I will tell you, this exercise really transformed the back of my arms. The second exercise you have to do in a gym, but it's a cable overhead extension, is probably my second favorite for triceps. Press your shoulders towards the hips, squeeze your triceps at the top, pausing at the bottom or the top, whichever feels more productive on your body, but keeping your shoulders pushing away from your ears towards your hips. 2 more. 1 more. And relax. Dumbbells down to the side, and we're actually going to stay here for a moment. Let me just take you through a couple of stretches real fast before we wrap up. Take your arms up over your head. Bring your feet together, knees together, and we're just going to drop them over to the side. If you are dropping your knees to your right, I want you to open out to your left and look over towards your left hand. One hand stays over your head, One arm opens away from your knees, and you're going to look over towards that hand, bringing a nice spinal twist, getting a stretch through the hips. And then take your hand up over your head, knees back to center, realign your hips, your back, and your feet together. Knees to the other side, opposite hand turns away and opens out. So if your knees are twisting to your left, your right hand is opening out and you're looking over towards that right hand to come into that great spinal twist, getting a great stretch through the hip. Ooh, that feels so good. This is a great antidote to a glute workout because it stretches a little bit into that glute medius and then down through what's called TFL, tensor fasciae lata, which is basically a section of fascia that connects your glutes to your hip flexors to your quads, and it's just such a great stretch. Also opening up the back and hand over head, knees to center. Let's bring one knee into your chest. Keep that other foot on the floor. Keep this leg bent and on the floor. I find that it allows you to get deeper into the hip that we're stretching with your knee at your chest. When you extend this leg out, you're actually not able to get into this hip quite as much. I'm not saying this isn't good, you can also do this, but when we're focusing on the hip, I want this to be a really good hip stretch for this hip, and so it helps if that other leg is bent and not straightening out. And then same thing on the other side. Because we're focusing on deepening this hip stretch and this glute stretch, keep the opposite knee bent and foot on the floor, and you're going to be able to get in there deeper. It feels so extra good for me. Oh, that feels so good. I did not do enough stretching this week, and so this is like one of the best stretches for your lower back, for your glutes, and for your hips. And relax, just roll to your side and bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees relax out into just a natural butterfly stretch. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it out, and I want you to just collapse and fall forward. Thank you so much for joining me for today's workout from California. If you'd like to stick around after the workout and join us for the live walking lunge workshop, please stick around. And if you are watching this in playback and you want to join us next time live, please visit my website, hollyperkins.com/free workout, and you can join us live via the private Zoom link. Relaxing into that stretch, let your chest drop down. And relax. One big inhale, inhale it up. Exhale it out. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Okay, guys, talk to me. Who is sticking around for some walking lunges?